Hello everyone and welcome to a foundation review that I am very excited to do. I have got the new foundation from CoverGirl here that sounds like it should be great for me. This is the CoverGirl TruBlend Matte Made Foundation. Comfort matte, transfer resistant, just supposed to be delightful, oil-free. It's also got a pump, which I'm always very appreciative of. CoverGirl did send me this whole line of foundations, so I basically have a lot of foundations that I will not be using because they're not for me and I don't need to be, like, there's no need for me to touch these other foundations, so I always end up like donating these things to my local community shelters and that sort of a thing. But it is nice, I can show you guys the shade range. There will be a picture insert here on the screen here so you can see all of the shades because I can't hold this up without them all falling out everywhere. It looks decent, like a decent shade range. I think, you know, I can definitely see a gradient, light, medium, tan, and deep. There is a deep shade. I do think the deep shades could have been deepened, and I do think quite a few of these shades look very similar, but I mean, 40 shades for the drugstore, that's awesome. I have heard that this stuff oxidizes like crazy, so I did go for the lightest shade, L10. And yeah, basically their promise is that this is going to be non-drying, not cakey. It's got like flexible technology and stuff infused in here, so it's going to be nice and durable throughout the day, but then it's also got like matte powder mixed in, so it's going to keep oils at bay. And then of course it says up to 12 hours of wear. So we'll see how much wear I can get out of this. I'm excited, as always, to test this out with you guys. Thank you to CoverGirl for sending this my way. As I hope you guys know, and as I always tell companies before they send me product, I only accept and review products that I am able to give 100% my honest opinion on. So you guys will be seeing here exactly how this performs. I'm not sugarcoating anything. So let's go ahead, sing the song together, and then we can go ahead and put this on my face, see how it does through the day. Let's test, hot mess or the best. Get you zoomed in here. As you can see, I have got some stuff on my face that, I mean, I would personally enjoy covering up. I am also, as always, wearing my glasses for the fellow glasses wearers of the world out there, so we can see how this is gonna do underneath our nose pads and all of that stuff. And I'm also putting primer on my face because I have very oily skin and foundations just really, they don't mesh with my skin if I don't wear a primer. So I'm just giving us the best chance possible and keeping my variables all in a row. Instead of ducks, I've got variables. I'm also going to be doing half of my face with a brush, half with a sponge, so that we can see different application techniques. Is one better than the other? We shall hopefully find out. So, like I said, there is a pump, and I think there's a locking mechanism on here. Let's see. Okay, I have it in the locked position. And now I don't! Yay! So let's see. Best pumps are those that work, and I can feel it. I feel the pressure. This is certainly a thicker foundation, as I hope you can see there. It is not dripping down my finger in the slightest. It's got a stereotypical foundation smell to it, nothing offensive. So here we go. I'm gonna, oh, this looks very yellow. Okay. Maybe I picked the wrong shade. It's very possible. I am certainly not perfect. So I'm gonna try a brush on this side. I also think there was a nice clump of cat hair in there. Cute! It is certainly getting hot. There's cat hair everywhere in my home. Because I have 2 long-haired cats. And they're shedding like it's hot. Okay, so that foundation smell is certainly quite a bit stronger once you start buffing it in, but like I said, I mean, it's nothing awful. It just smells like foundation. And it looks like it's buffing in pretty easily, honestly. I don't love the way that it's looking on my nose right now, but my nose is a bit on the dry side at the moment, so, you know, there we go. Can certainly see a difference. I didn't use all of that foundation, so let's go ahead and try. That was probably a little too much once again, but let's go ahead and see how a sponge does, shall we? Sponge side for the win! However, I will say it doesn't look good on my nose on either side. It definitely looks very dry because my nose is very dry at the moment. But I just think it looks a little bit streaky on the brush side, but I think it blended out really nicely on this side. So since I do have extra foundation here, I'm gonna go ahead, see if I can build this up in some areas. And there we go. I would say I certainly was able to build things up. I think it looks a little bit better on my nose now that I built it up, but we shall see. That might change once the wear starts happening, but there it is for now. I think you can see it took away a lot of redness, certainly evened out my skin. I would say it gave a good medium to full coverage, just about. So yeah, there we go. I am going to go ahead and put on the rest of my makeup here, do my hair, put on actual clothing that is not pajamas, and then I will be back to check in with you all in just a second here on YouTube land. Ready? Ding! Alright, so here we go. Here is everything. I think the foundation looks good and bad, depending on like what part of my face and then also how closely you're looking at my face. But here you go. I think it looks fine on my forehead and like my cheeks and stuff. I guess it's mainly my nose. So I think mainly the takeaway here is that if you have dry skin, I would recommend staying far, far away from this foundation. However, I am excited to see how it wears on the rest of my face. Here you go. Here is the flash photo test. I think it looks fine in the flash photo. I can't tell if I'm using, I don't think this color is too light on me, but in the flash photo, it certainly looks a little too pale for me. But I mean, I don't feel like this has any claims of having sunscreen in it, so I don't know that that's flashback. Either way, you guys can be the judge. Like I said, I'm just excited to see how this ends up wearing on my skin. It is currently just about 1:45 in the afternoon. I've got a day ahead of me here. I am going to be filming a video, which I'm very excited to film. I recently subscribed to Doki Doki Crate, so I'm really excited to do that for my collecting channel. I am going out to a late lunch with my dad. I haven't seen him in a long time. Then just run some general errands, come home, get work done, and then go to bed, hopefully. So I will be checking in with you all periodically just so that we can see how everything is doing on my face, and then I will for sure be seeing you all very soon here on YouTube land at the very end of the night for my final check-in. So I'll see you all very soon here on YouTube land. Bye! Good evening. It is the end of the night here. It is currently 11:09 in the evening. I know, before midnight. Look at me. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Didn't check in with you for a second time because didn't feel like I needed to. I have thoughts on this foundation, you guys. Let's take a closer look and then we can get on into my pause rating and we can talk about it. As you can hopefully see close up, does it look awful? No. However, like I said in the beginning of the video, if you have any dry spots on your face or just dry skin in general, this foundation is not going to do you any favors, as you can see by my nose. And also, I don't know if it's just because of mixing with my oils, but this transfers like crazy. And that was one of the biggest claims I feel like of this foundation, is that it is transfer proof. This was the kind of foundation where I gave my dad a hug today and I was like, oh boy, there's foundation on your shirt. I apologize, dear father. Thankfully that kind of thing washes out. But, so yeah, that is a thing. But before I start talking my head off here, let's go ahead and classify things, rate things, if you will, in my pause rating system here. P stands for performance, A is for application, W is for worth the price, and S is for shade range. So for performance, the transferring, not good. Like, really bad, actually. And also, you know, it felt lightweight throughout the day. It feels like I'm wearing foundation, but a very lightweight foundation. However, it is the kind, if you do have oily skin, once your oils start coming through, you can definitely feel it more on your skin, if that makes sense. It doesn't necessarily feel heavy, but it's much more feelable, if you get what I'm saying. This also, I think, oxidized like a lot on me, and I have seen that in other people's swatches, like my girl Jen from Jen Loves Reviews. She did swatches of this whole collection, and you can see from wet to dry how big of a shade jump things can go from because of the oxidizing. So that's a bummer. If you need a deeper shade, great, you know, that will help to deepen things. But that being said, it's a pain in the butt for anyone, regardless of your skin color, to try and figure out what shade something is going to oxidize into. That's just, like I said, major pain in the butt. So, because of the transferring and because of the oxidizing, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and put this one right down the middle for performance and give it a 2.5, because like I said, it wasn't the worst foundation, like especially in comparison to other foundations that I've been testing lately. Sunday Riley, I'm looking at you. This one did really great in comparisons, but it still wasn't awesome. So I think I feel comfortable giving it a 2.5. Application I think was fine when I used a sponge and I was able to build it up nicely, and yeah, I think application was just fine. I can't remember anything being horrendous about application, so I am going to go ahead and give this a 5. For worth the price, I mean, it's a drugstore foundation, but drugstore foundations are getting kind of expensive and it was just kind of okay. I think I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 2.5. We'll give it a 2.5. I feel like that's fair, because we'll get to 2.5. And then shade range, I mean, for a drugstore foundation line, 40 shades, that's more than some high-end brands can say that they have. I'm looking at you, IT Cosmetics, amongst others. I'm not trying to single IT Cosmetics out, but yeah, 40 shades, that's awesome. It can obviously be improved upon. Any foundation line can be. But I think, you know, that being said, it was still pretty dang good, the shade range. So I'm gonna give it, I think, a solid 4. I think I'm comfortable giving it a 4. So overall, this is getting a 3.5 out of 5 paws. And I think that pretty much sums it up. I mean, it wasn't awful. It wasn't great, but it wasn't awful. And I wouldn't like super discourage people from trying it, I guess. Even if we take the awesome shade range factor out of this, it's still getting like a 3.3 repeating on my scale. And that's mainly just because application was really easy. So I mean, if you want to like really looking at this, you know, it's like one of those things where it's like, what do you value most? Just look at that factor. Do you value performance the most? 2.5 out of 5. This wasn't the greatest, but as an overall, I think a 3.5 out of 5 is fair. It was alright. I'm glad I could try it. I don't know, I doubt this is gonna work well in the like hot summer months here, just with it being this transfery without it being hot out. I think it was like a solid 58 or 60 degrees or something today, so I don't think I got sweaty at all at any point when I was like out running errands and stuff, so I just can't see this holding up against sweat. I don't know, maybe once the cooler months roll back around for fall or something, I'll whip this back out, give it another try, but for now, I'm definitely putting it on the back burner. It It was alright. I'm glad I tried it. If you have oily skin, I wouldn't discourage you from trying it, but if you have dry skin, certainly stay away. At least I think that would be wise. So, if anything, as always, I just hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful in seeing whether or not this is going to be a foundation that you are going to want to check out for yourself. My hands got a little ahead of my words there. If it was, please do go ahead and give me a thumbs up down below. I would really appreciate it. And if you're new here, hey, hi, hello, how are you? You can go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more content from me in the future. You can become a member of my casserole family here on my channel. I'd love to have you here. And as always, I just hope you guys are all doing well. Until next time, just stay well until then. Bye!